Kyle listens almost exclusively to like trailer cover music, where it's like that song you totally know, but it's slightly more like pared down so that it can be put over a vaguely dramatic movie trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Kyle. The only thing missing is the really stripped down sad piano covers. That's the only thing missing from that playlist.
I want a really intense, like, zombie apocalypse cover of Your Body is Wonderland.
That actually would go really hard.
Really? Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't it?
That would
and like
super hard.
You're watching some, like people burn, like the flashing of people running with big guns. Hey everyone, welcome to the Clips channel. Did you know this isn't our main channel? Yeah, you should subscribe over and find our main videos and our streams as well. We also have a podcast that you can find wherever podcasts can be found, so explore the internet. See you there. There are definitely games we've started that I'm very eager to beat. I think at the top of my list is just Iceborne. I love...
Can we tease this? Can we tease this?
Yeah, absolutely.
We had a big meeting last week, and we've got we will... Some things will be getting finished in the near future. We've got project finish shit coming up very soon.
Yes.
We'll probably workshop that name.
There will be finishing of shit because we have things we want to start, wink, wink, and all that. And we want to be finished with some shit before we do that stuff. But honestly, Monster Hunter World is such a darling. I love the way it plays, and I want to beat Iceborne really badly.
It's nuts. After Wilds, I look back at World like, I think I might actually prefer how you do co-op. Wild is convoluted.
It is. I mean, we got used to it, right? Like it's all the traps and
I did not get used to it. I did not get used to it. I think it doesn't help. It kind of helps, but also makes it more confusing that there's more than one way to accomplish the same group in Wilds.
Oh no, I'm talking about World. Yeah, no, I'm still a little Wilds is in that it's just in the heavy graphic space, and it's not a big deal. It's just you got power on the computer. You got to I don't even have to like make sure a bunch of background programs are closed or anything like that.
You're so full of it. You've got a Steam Deck. Just admit it. You've got the privilege of having a Steam Deck.
Yes, no, I have exactly. That's what it really comes down to. Is World
what Kyle isn't
on
saying
Steam Deck.
He can't run Wilds on his Steam Deck. Therefore, he's not putting any extra hours into Wilds.
I don't want to.
Just admit it. Admit it. Admit it. If the Steam Deck don't fit, you must have quit. Admit it.
Yes, it's how I squeeze in a lot of games today, these days, and I love it for that. Though I do get a lot of Astrobot in. Quick aside there, we've got 16 bots left to go. Me and the 5-year-old, we are rocking our way to the end. Such a freaking darling game. Love it. Oh, and Indiana Jones, I think, came out like 2 days ago on PlayStation 5.
PlayStation.
Yeah. So that'll be very convenient.
Dude, it's so weird. We're gonna have Halo on PlayStation soon. That's just gonna be
so
really
weird.
I don't think that's been I don't think it's been confirmed. I do believe they confirmed Gears of War, but Halo's right around the corner. You know it. Has Halo been confirmed?
Is
Halo coming to PlayStation? Oh, and never mind. It's been confirmed. Master Chief Collection is coming to PS5.
Okay. I mean,
that's nuts, man.
It's money. So at this point, it's just kind of like, yeah, you go get money. Sure. I don't really.
I think all consoles are struggling compared to past sales numbers, but PS5 is definitely kicking Xbox's trash in terms of units sold. So when was that announced? Let me pull this up. Sorry, this was not a planned topic, so I don't have it. Let's see. IGN has an article dated on January 14th, 2025. Okay, this is based on a leak, but it's from a leaker who has been right more than wrong.
Unlike the Witcher 4 leak, which is not real and don't open any emails. That's apparently a big thing right now, worth saying.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. Yeah. I would probably treat this with a lot more grains, many more grains of salt. Or not for the fact that, like, with Indiana Jones already out, like, this is happening. Microsoft games are coming out on PlayStation. So, yeah. Yeah. What are we disagreeing with? I see disagreeing in chat. I'm trying to find the inciting disagreement.
Console exclusives are dumb was the inciting incident.
People disagree with that. Why would you disagree with that? It is dumb.
I think it's exciting personally in my own vacuum, because much like buying something and then reading reviews about the thing you just bought, it's self-gratification, and it feels good when you get an exclusive that you really like.
Yeah, but I grew up.
Well,
I'm an adult now.
To me, it's not even about being adult. It's that I'm a citizen of the internet, and if I get a game and I'm like, damn, I'm having a great time with Final Fantasy 16, and I hear that there are many people who aren't having a great time because they wish
Square's
they could
the
play
dumbest of them all.
Yeah.
Like Square Square's like shooting themselves in the foot with their like fake made up exclusivity.
I will also say this to the pro world's anti-wilds. The cats, I miss them. I miss the little chef cats that are cooking my meals. You know, when I cook a meal and my guy goes, and like takes that bite and smiles, freaking love him. He's an adorable little bastard. My hunter, love him. But I kind of miss the town. I miss the cat. I miss the armor smith. I miss like that whole town. That one town was so charming, and getting to know it exclusively. It's kind of fun having like Ironburg and underground camp and all that for your campaign. But I just kind of like World's coziness.
Cat is telling us that chef cats are back in Wilds.
Oh, they're finally back.
That we haven't played.
Oh, well, that's nice. Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
Do they do little dances? Do they still? Yeah. They still do it? Get all up in there? Probably. Because that was ingredients cat. I was worried he was only going to sell things.
I mean, if 16 is crashing your PC on startup, that is not a pro console exclusive. That's a pro make your games run correctly.
Well, and port them correctly. That's a whole lazy ports is a whole nother conversation, and I don't even know if lazy port would be exclusive to what you're experiencing. So
I think bad ports is a strange nostalgic thing for me. I hear like ports are bad again, and I'm like, oh man, we're so back. That's my reaction.
You got to mod yourself to make sure it shows actual
like,
keyboards or something.
Yeah, it's the 2000s. We're back, baby.
Show me that Xbox controls when I plug in my PlayStation. Hell yeah.
God, I remember getting KOTOR 2 for PC on sale. Like, yeah, I can finally
that was
play.
Not well made.
Oh my God, what an absolute piece of shit. Could not run for anything. But yeah, I have a deep amount of nostalgia for ports sucking ass on PC.
I miss the crit. That's my biggest thing I miss. And honestly, one of the most gratifying, best things about World is the size of the crit laser. You would like shear the whole monster in half with this giant space axe right across them. And I was playing Wilds. I'm like, do I ever crit? And chat's like, yeah. It's the little tiny red numbers. Little tiny red now, like I used to do. Like Darth Vader did 7 flips through space to deliver this particular blow. It's amazing. And I want to kill more big things like it.
When has Darth Vader done a flip?
He's probably done some flip. He did that silly jump once.
He did that I guess he did a backwards flip.
Well, he got kicked in the face. That wasn't really a flip.
Yeah, it was a pretty lame flip too, all things considered. I love that. I know the exact grunt you're talking.
It's a great one, yeah.
I love it.
It's not as good as this ooh, which they included in the video games for some reason. So you'd be getting wailed on in Battlefield, and you'd go ooh, because everyone was focusing firing you. Oh, good times.
Oh, I'm not aware of this. Kura saying right now says few things beat booting up the old Resident Evil 4 PC port and seeing Ubisoft of all logos show up. It was a real did I miss a page energy. I did not know that Ubisoft was involved in the RE4 PC port.
Weird.
I remember first year of college being in the cafeteria and seeing a kid playing Halo on a MacBook and being like, what is happening? I think they were boot camping like Windows onto a MacBook.
Yeah, I guess.
But I wasn't even aware that Halo 1 was available on PC because it was like, Xbox only for so long. That's how I learned there was a PC version of the first Halo. which would have been late. Like, I'm old, but I'm not that old. Like Halo 2 had already been out for multiple years at that point.
At any rate, so I'm Steam decking. I'm looking forward to, as a previous conversation cap on that, really looking forward to finishing Monster Hunter World. I really want to play Iceborne, and my guy's quite geared from being able to. I've killed Nergigante solo many times because it's fun to fight that guy. Now that I'm decently
doing the grind, grinding some Nergigante gear.
But I also got really into Hades this last weekend.
For the first time?
No, for like the fifth time. I had like 32 hours in it, so not an absurd by any means.
Such a good game.
It is, and I've gone off and played more games like it and came back to it, and I'm better, which was really fun.
Oh, that's cool.
I kind of just sucked at it, and now I'm actually clearing every time I go for it with whatever heat that can go for it. So I'm making good progress and starting to see the story a lot there, which I'm really enjoying.
That's rad. I think it's, I mean, of the ones I played, I think it's the greatest roguelite in existence.
It has all the problems they all do, which, kind of boredom of certain monsters or that first level. But it's well balanced. And
it needs like a warp zone or something. Like shortcut that first zone, and when you get to the warp, it gives you a bunch of power ups so you can just move on to.
But you also kind of, as you put points into things and get more powerful, you just kind of own it, which is that World of Warcraft. Hey, I'm over leveled for this thing that used to terrify me. Pew pew pew, and you just destroy them all with one spin attack, and that's really nice. And with the items that you can get in order to guarantee certain types of buffs, I'm finding I'm going very quickly through the first level. Unlike Slay the Spire, which I was on a huge kick for the last month or so. Finally got every of them to 10, but oh my god, that first zone, and sometimes you just die out because you didn't get anything, and you're like, well, I guess I should have taken that weird buff early on that I didn't know my entire deck was going to be based around. But Hades super cute. I love the spear attack, whatever the spear is called. And
that's great. I like that. I like bow. I love shield. I think my first clear was on shield.
Oh, shields. I think shield, and this isn't to demean you at all, because I'm the exact same. Shield makes it so easy because you have auto deflect, protect on a lot of your attacks there, and just makes getting out your first time the way to do it.
It's good stuff. Last month for me was Vampire Survivors. I had to get away from it so that I had enough brain power to think about WoW hardcore and also prepare to start heading back to Savage in 14.
That's interesting. I also was on a big Vampire Survivors kick. Obviously, we went on the trip together where we talked about playing that.
Yeah, we got another one coming up too. So I'm like, should I just rip a Steam Deck? So have it on the plane.
I'm getting Dredge for that. Man. I'm getting Dredge. That's what I'm going to play there. It's only like 12 hours long, but it looks really cute. I guess my only concern is if the boats are rocking and the plane's rocking, I might have to put it down. But I'm really excited to play that particular one.
It looks cool. I haven't played it myself, but yeah. That's this getting back to Savage.
Yes,
getting back to Savage after playing WoW. It's just like, oh yeah, listen, I understand snapshots and all of that, but oh my god, that first Savage fight. Oh my god.
Oh, there were some cute ones in there. Disgusting. Yeah, if you're not familiar with Final Fantasy 14 and how the server kind of registers itself, it can record you in a location you previously were based on your ping to awful effect and cause you to die when you're clearly standing in safety. And many times it's a great like, glitch, game sucks kind of streamer complaint, and you should ignore it. But there's also moments where there is video evidence where you were clearly outside the explosion and got hit well after the fact. And those seem to be quite prevalent in the new Savage as a feature. Like, this is not a bug. This is not something they will probably go and fix. This is not something.
Yeah, I've been inundated with it's not a story the Jedi would tell you since our Savage on Thursday.
Oh, you mean like doing VPNs and like trying to fix your ping through various
non-approved means.
Yeah.
I
don't know. The VPNs advertise themselves for that. That seems like something they want us to do.
Yeah, there's a couple mods as well, I believe.
Oh, really? Like, I have no idea how that would even work. I don't
I don't understand. I'm like, isn't ping ping? How do you possibly even get her? Like, I don't know how you brute force a ping. Also, apparently I've been hearing, I don't know. I'm just reporting what people have DM'd me at this point. I hear that our data center is notorious for being shit for ping.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it comes down to I just accept that reality, and I will now run into the explosion as it goes off more, which is something you can't do because the explosion will go. That's how it works in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I normally do. I mean, it just kind of depends, I've got extraneous shit happening in my life right now. So, like, I got properly tilted on Thursday. Like, I was just like, this fight's kind of bullshit. like, I want to be into those kind of fights. I want to champion 14 boss fights being so fast and furious that it's kind of relentless. Like, I don't think it's wrong to design a fight that has very, very narrow room for error. But I do think it sucks when your netcode is subpar. Like,
I don't know much.
That's I want it to be designed that way, but I don't want to be punished because of server ticks.
Yeah, and I don't really know anything about it because the majority of things I learn about Final Fantasy XIV at this stage come from crimes, mods, and whatnot. Like the center dot that we had, that we talked about Mr. Happy, many episodes ago now. But actually, just go back and listen to every episode with Mr. Happy. They've all been fabulous. There is your body, your entire being is actually a single pixel below your feet, and it might be slightly forward crotch or it might be buttocks based on your character model. And somewhere in your circle is a single little dot that is either going to say yes or no if you're standing inside of something. And that was so huge and instrumental in my understanding of what was safe for me. Because constantly, as we've gone up in difficulty, particularly in Dawn Trail, because Dawn Trail kind of went, you want difficulty, woohoo! And they definitely escalated in an up arrow. Which, if you're from like the World of Warcraft kind of realm of things, the arrow doesn't really go up in WoW until you agree to like Mythic. Otherwise, it's kind of like every expansion sort of comes out as similar difficulty. Of course, we learn things. There's more explosions. I've seen some footage of that new raid with the goblins, and I'm like, wow, this is looking kind of Final Fantasy. Like, there's so much shit going off, and everybody has to do it. There's no more just max range healing in the back like I used to play in BC Town. Gone are the days of tank and spanks in both games. But the single dot, it's so instrumental to me being like, wait, this thin little slice that I was left with is actually enough for me, because I was freaking out. Through even our dungeon experience in Dawn Trail, I was just going, how, why, where am I supposed to go? But now I know if I got two toes, my toes don't exist. If my toes are in the explosions on each side, but I'm in this little tiny pizza slice.
The second boss in the 7-1 dungeon, because he does the... Oh, no, that's not... I'm thinking of the second expert dungeon from 7.0, because there's the cactus boss that does the wide cones, but then suddenly they reduce down to very, very skinny cones. That was I think the first time where I was like, I was thinking of the fact, because I also learned that our hitbox is literally a center pixel on our character because of the add-on drama from the Race the World First. So that was the first boss where it was like in my head. I think that was the first boss where it was on my head. That would have been after that because of Race the World First.
That'd be timed out correctly, right? Wouldn't it?
No, because Race World First hadn't happened yet.
Oh, so we were just freaking out then. That was our freak out until we learned more.
Yeah, never mind. So I think it would have been second boss in 7-1 dungeon, because it's not one of those reducing cone attacks, but when that second boss reduces it down to a small circle, he also puts circular AoEs on both DPS and the healer. So as a tank, you have to find a tiny little spot between these three Venn diagrams that will kill you. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, I'm just a pixel. This is fine.
Yeah.
And even though my feet are in it, it doesn't matter. Like it's irrelevant. And if you're a even bigger, player character, it doesn't matter. Like, so just keep the center of your character. And you're fine.
It came to StarCraft and Heroes of the Storm Blizzard properties, their system worked on we are assuming you are here and you will receive said action as though you are where you are Then it goes to the server. The server says, I agree, and then shoots back confirmation that your character is in a safe spot. So wherever you go, even if you get little lag spikes, the game is always trying to say, I agree with where you currently are. My understanding, but there's less communication on this when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV, is the server is basically going, recording, 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 and whatever it records is what happens when that explosion goes off.
Yeah, I think of it like a time signature in a song, like a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and and if it's on a 1 or if it's on an and, you're good, and if it's not, you're not good. Like, that kind of a thing. But there's no indication in game to tell you like when the server ticks are actually getting recorded. So, and usually it's not a big deal. Like when I was new to the game, it took some time to wrap my head around it. And then I started feeling like a badass, because once you realize that like when the telegraph of the attack disappears, that's when it's recorded, particularly as a tank. That means you can just walk right back in front of that like dragon fire that's going off, and you look like a badass and you take no damage. That's so cool. My issue with it comes in when we get to these like really just relentless attack after attack after attack after attack high movement fights. Because I've seen a lot of complaints about it recently. There's been well, not too recently, maybe a month ago when everyone was farming 14 drama. One thing that came across that seemed like legitimate criticism to me, I don't necessarily agree with it, was, it doesn't feel like we're fighting the boss, we're fighting the arena. Everything's just constant movement all the time. It's getting a little old. And I'm like, listen, I can, I'm newer to the game. I can understand where if it's been like this forever, it's completely valid to think that that's getting old hat and you want something new. But I still like it. It hasn't gotten old for me. I want to like it. Yeah, Thursday got under my skin a bit. Got under my skin a bit on Thursday.
It's a fascinating question, and I do agree because in my own limited game design experience, I think of Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition, where a lot of difficulty could be added through layer actions and the room that the players were fighting in being bullshit as opposed to the actual boss. It was not satisfying. But WoW's doing the exact same thing. In fact, WoW has a philosophy right now that I've been reading about because I find game design, the science of fun, so fascinating. They're trying to get away from DPS being so important and everyone having to do the dance, and very much something that I see is influenced by Final Fantasy XIV rating. Because I don't know what a tank and spank would even look like anymore. Like, they are fun, but they're not fun for everybody.
14's so predictable. And I don't mean that as a negative. Like you're going in and you're fighting one boss, and the order in which the boss does things is for the most part set in stone. There's some variance. Like there's a boss in 7.0 called Valigarmanda, and if you go do the extreme, there's 3 elementally affixed phases, and 2 of them can be randomized. You will always start with the fire phase. That will always be first, but what element will be second is randomized, and then the third one will be whatever one you didn't get second. So they do introduce some variance sometimes, but yeah, after doing a bunch of WoW classic dungeons last week, I was like, oh yeah, there's just so much variance. Like even compared to dungeons in Final Fantasy XIV, because there's just no walls barring you. Like we had a really close call in Wailing Caverns on hardcore because I effed up a pull, and we ended up, I think, with like 6 mobs.
That was dangerous, all coming in.
Like that's just not possible in 14. You can pretty much pull 2 packs and then there's a wall and that's it. Like they don't really give you the rope to hurt yourself with. And I think that extends to kind of like all instance content as a philosophy in 14. Like it is fairly predictable the way it goes forward. So like that being said, individual bosses in WoW are it's similar. Like in the older game, yeah, if you didn't clear the room, there's a high chance you were going to get additional ads because you were trying to be lazy or you're trying to be too fast and you screw yourself. But, if most raids, you got to clear the trash to get to the boss. And once you get to the boss is still what the boss is. So, yeah, it's interesting in that way. I really enjoy playing both, but I think it is screwing with my brain a bit because WoW is very, very snappy and responsive, and 14 is very. I describe it as mushy. Like I have to, you have to press your ability a lot of times to make sure it registers, even if your GCD isn't currently rolling, because it's looking for that. I think it's looking for that server tick, isn't it?
I'm not having that issue. I can totally understand from a tanking perspective because the job can be similar. There was a moment in Friday's stream where we were coming to the elementals in Wailing Caverns, and I had the most crunchy, nerdy, hold on, Joe Cat, I need to interrupt you moment of the entire stream for me being like, okay, here's how 5-second mana tick works, and here's how we maintain our mana regeneration in classic WoW by interrupting our own spells. And I remember playing like that when I first got into 14 and driving our stream insane, basically being an only healer, as an only healing because I'm a healer, but also making sure everyone was topped up at literally all times and pre-healing when I expected things to hit you hard. And it's just such a different game when it comes to healing. It's incredibly different. So the 5-second rule in classic WoW is that you would regenerate mana only after not casting a spell for 5 seconds. So what you could do is when the tank pulls, you start a 3-second spell cast, your biggest, beefiest, giantest, greatest heal that you have on your kit. And when it's at 2.5 seconds, you jump, you move, you cancel it out. You are now still in your 5-second regeneration.
If you don't want the heal.
Yes.
If you do want the heal, you do not cancel it.
And then when the tank runs in, and because things can crit in WoW, and he gets crit in the face, he's now at 25% health. You're like, thank goodness I'm only 0.5 seconds away from my biggest, beefiest heal I could possibly deliver. And that dance and that stress is extremely janky. But it is a very interesting tactical game for healers to play, given the tactical clunky nature of Classic. And it's something I really enjoyed in the past that WoW has fully gotten away from. And I think that probably for the better, probably for more action-packed reasons, probably because you have 1,000 toolkits that are way more interesting. And I could not ever land Guardian Spirit in my time in WoW, which was a instant cast. You put a buff on the person. If they would die, they go to like 50% health instead. Like that was completely beyond me. I had no skills for that kind of thing. Could I do that now? Maybe. Like actually, I've improved as a player dramatically playing a lot of 14. Getting back to 14, I am actually flabbergasted that I haven't seen complaints about the difficulty. And I only mean this from like a legacy of Elden Ring esports taking over a MOBA shooter kind of world. Whenever a company has listened to the pro players, the top raiders, and said, okay, I've got difficult content for you, it almost always go bad. But Final Fantasy XIV with Dawn Trail, it seems like everyone who is experiencing this difficulty spike with the newest raid is like, yeah, that's nice. That's kind of what I wanted.
I mean, wait, so are you surprised you haven't seen complaints about the difficulty because you think it's too easy or because you think it's too hard?
I feel like, just in general, when you respond to your audience saying your game is too easy, I want harder difficulty by increasing difficulty, it almost always is a shot in the foot. But here in Final Fantasy XIV, it seems like they're being rewarded for it. Like it seems people happy.
Well, Savage players want difficulty.
Yeah,
I think we saw complaints about difficulty in 7.0 because it was in the direction of content that is required to progress through the MSQ. So you had folks that predominantly just want to experience the story, being like, "Well, son of a gun, I don't want the dungeons to be this difficult." So you had a much, because as you get to more specified content, you narrow down that funnel of the type of player that you're even interacting with in the first place. Because the amount of players that interact with Savage is freaking nothing compared to the amount of players that interact with the MSQ. There's still quite a few of them. They're in our live stream, memeing on my tanking abilities. But there's not nearly as many players.
Yeah. And I think that's why you need the hard walls in the dungeons. Like, as much as it'd be fun to have those dungeons be more pullable, I think those hard walls keep everybody safe. And that's why we see less.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think if you went in with a pre-made, I think it'd be fun if they turned them off.
It would be kind of, if it was like, hey, you're in agreement. You all are here willingly. Somehow, maybe you're in a guild. We don't care. It was a full party. Go.
Like, I would love to, I'd love to go to Heroes Gauntlet and just, I guess that's a bad example. But that's what I think of as having like spicy pools. I'd love to have even spicier pools in there.
I think that's a fun idea. It reminds me of, MOBAs, where if you went in with a 5-stack, you were going to face a 5-stack. And that MMR needed to be accounting for you all being in a chat together. Yeah.
Anyways, that's where I'm at. We got a trip coming up. I don't think we're gonna try M6S until we get back, right?
Well, we got to re-clear, and you need gear too. So
yeah, because you keep winning everything. Yes.
Well, wait, no, you didn't need what I needed, right? Or you did? I guess I took the ring. I got a ring.
I needed a ring, and I needed an earring, and I got none of it.
Yes, but I didn't take it from you.
You also took the weapon. You also took the weapon in extreme, so I'm also rocking 5 item level lower weapon.
Well, yes, that I guess I did.
I have gotten nothing so far from this patch besides crafted gear.
Well, the extreme was my shameful consolation prize, and I wear it with great humility at all times. It was an awful clear for me. I felt absolutely terrible when it ended because I died 3 times in a row.
I feel terrible. Walks away with weapon. Oh, this is terrible.
Yeah, lots of people feel that way. I mean, yeah, you can. There is one reaction where you dab your eyes with the dollar bills, right? That can happen.
That's Kyle with
loot.
But
sometimes
I feel so bad about my performance.
Sometimes you legitimately feel shame, like I did not earn this, but I hit need because we all were going. I was telling the group to roll need. I'm not a dumbass,
Just give me shit.
I'm not sacrificial. I'm just. But yeah, no, we're definitely gonna.
I feel bad. I don't feel that bad.
Exactly. I
still have desires.
So I finished. To counter Garrett's point, I finished M5S feeling great. Though I do have footage of an absolute egregious snapshot we can reference anytime we want.
It is one of the most disgusting snapshots I have ever personally witnessed, and I include like all the Race to World firsts we've watched. That was proper bullshit.
But
frame it, hang it on the wall.
Yes, we can
point plaque that says proper bullshit.
We can point to it right there.